All right. Hello, everyone. My name's John. I just recently graduated this 6-month developer bootcamp. So previously going into it, I knew nothing about code. And during the 6 months, they taught us Angular, Node, and Rails. And I was really inspired by real-time data visualizations. So in order to do that, I thought it'd be cool to make some kind of competition or polling app where users can create competitions based on their specifications and have their participants vote using Twitter as a voting mechanism. So I'll just get right into it on why I use Meteor for this. Out of the box, Meteor comes with MongoDB, Node, and this templating engine called Spacebars. I used Angular on the front end just because that's what we learned in our curriculum, and it proved to be really useful in the real-time aspects with the two-way data binding along with Meteor. And just a quick show of hands, are there any cat lovers in here? Okay, and dog lovers? Okay, so this is like the perfect competition to use in my app because, first of all, it's great for demoing because cats and dogs are always a popular topic on Twitter. And without further ado, I'll just let my app show you how it works. So this is a little recording that I did. This is where you specify the competition. So again, cats first dogs. First choice, hashtag cats. First choice, hashtag dogs. When we hit the start button, it's opening a stream to the live streaming Twitter API, and it's actively listening for these specific hashtags. So once it comes in, this is all in real time. It automatically goes into my database and triggers Meteor's functionality, and that transfers all the way up to Angular and updates my graphs in real time. And you can see I opened up a separate window here, and you could see on this separate chart that that's also updating consistently with the actual competition that is happening. And this was, yay, thank you. That's exactly how I felt when it first got it to work. So that is my application. Moving along. I made this diagram just to better illustrate how this is all working. Down on the left, you see the Twitter live streaming API. That's what that picture represents. And so Meteor is my backend framework that I used. And whenever that competition is made, it's searching for that query through the live streaming API. And when it finds that specific tweet, it goes into my database. And what's cool about Meteor is there's listeners that it puts on Mongo. So it triggers, whenever there's a change in the database, it triggers that auto-running functionality that, that blue stream represents. So it travels through to Angular and creating that real-time renderization. So some of the challenges that I had was with the live streaming API itself. Once you start scaling up, it's a bad project to have because it builds upon the same stream. So when the data is returned, you're actually getting back everyone's competition's results. So in order to fix that, I had to implement more server-side logic, which is not actually triggering the root of the problem. And I read a little bit more, and if you actually pay them a subscription fee, they allow you to make more instances and allow you to scale up. And being a more beginner developer myself, it was a little bit trickier because there is a lack of Angular and Meteor documentation out there. So a lot of trial and error and reaching out to my network of friends who are also developers. And moving on, I would just like to add more specifications to the competition and also maybe implement a sentiment analysis using a Watson API or something, because if people were to write cats suck, it would still count for cats are good, So that'd be cool. And yeah, that's my application. Are there any questions?
Does anybody have any questions? How many people use Meteor? And Angular?
Okay.
I'm actually
Cool.
curious. How many people use Mongo? Okay,
Yeah.
so we have a good mixture. Do people have any kind of apps that are similar to this sort of architecture, this type of structure? So this is fairly new. Cool. Any last questions? Oh, yes. Oh, and I have to give you my.
Why did you use Meteor?
Yeah, so Meteor comes out of the box. With Meteor comes Mongo, Node, and the templating engine. And it's kind of like optimized for real-time applications. And that was like one of the main things that I wanted in a framework. And honestly, it's just so easy to prototype things, and it's just like so much functionality comes with Meteor. Like if, for instance, if you use their templating engine and on your HTML just write login button, like with bcrypt, with like all the proper authentication, like it just comes out of the box like that. So super fast to build out prototypes. Yeah.
So I had a follow-up to that. Did you look at other platforms?
Other back-end frameworks like Meteor? Or?
Yes.
No, I actually went to this Meteor meetup like the week before I decided to do this project, and I was just kind of inspired, I guess, by Meteor. But if you have any recommendations, like for real-time back-end frameworks, yeah.
Are there any quirks with it? I know you're talking about the positive sides. Were there any things that you had to kind of work around?
Yeah, I guess just my lack of exposure to it. Like and there isn't much documentation on it, and like not many apps use Meteor right now, and it's like a relatively newer technology, so just a lack of documentation if I had to pinpoint something. Yeah.
Cool. Any last questions? Well then, thank you. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.